Hey guys, I'm back from my vacation and just got back yesterday. For anybody who doesn't know, I went to North Carolina to see my sister and my newborn baby niece. And obviously, because of that, I was kind of busy and wasn't able to go to theaters this past Friday. But I was able to go today after getting some rest from the long trip to North Carolina. And I was able to go see Thor: The Dark World. Um, now, I was like, uh, now, as far as like the Marvel Cinematic Universe is concerned, I'm a huge fan of these films. Um, I love Iron Man. I love Captain America. I love all those films. I love the Avengers. Obviously, I love the Avengers. Avengers is one of the best comic book movies in recent memory. Um, and I've loved all these films. As it as as far as four goes, I was I would say the first four was probably my least favorite of the films. I'm not saying it was bad or anything. It was just not as good as I thought as the other ones were. And so, but even despite that, I was really looking forward to this movie. I mean, I figured they could probably improve on on the first one maybe a little bit. It, I was interested in where the story would go from here, where how this movie would lead to Avengers 2, all stuff like that. Um, so now I've seen it. I enjoyed this movie. I really, really enjoyed For the Dark World. I thought it was better than the first one, a lot better than the first one. Like I said, not saying first one was bad or anything. I thought it wasn't compared to the other ones. It was probably the weakest, the first one, but this one was pretty good. I liked it. Um, it had some flaws here and there, but it had some. If you sit there and think about uh, the movie, like some of the logic in this movie, and you'll like you can nitpick this movie if you really want to, but honestly, I was enjoying myself the whole time, and because of that, I kind of ignored all the all the logical errors in this film. Um, but I did like. I mean, what I liked about the first one, I kind of liked about this one. I like Chris Hemsworth is very good as Thor. He is very, 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 very good. Um, he does a really good job in this role. Natalie Portman's fine. Anthony Hopkins is. I like Anthony Hopkins in this role because he's just way over the top, but he's still pretty damn good. Um, Tom Hiddleston, obviously, as Loki, is good. For a while there, while I was watching this movie, I was worried that there was really no point in having Loki in this movie, but it ended up I ended up being wrong. There was kind of a point for him being in this movie, and Tom Hiddleston is good in this role. Um, I think the only reason they put him in this movie was because of the popularity he has gained since the Avengers. I mean, it kind of cracks me up, like with Loki, that when Thor came out, he wasn't very popular. That character wasn't very popular. People were like, "Really, this guy's gonna be the next villain in the Avengers? Is gonna be the villain in the Avengers? Really?" But honestly, he surprised pretty much every one of his critics by being really, really good in the Avengers, and then he gained really big popularity, and now, like, apparently there's girl fan fiction of him or something. I don't know. I think they put him mainly in this movie because all the to keep the girl fan base. But even despite that, he's really good in this role. He's good. He's good in this movie. I thought he was very, very good. I don't know who played the villain. He was all right. I forget who to play the villain. It was an unknown actor. I've never seen that guy in anything. He did all right. Everybody was doing good. One thing I will say that was a little bit of annoying, a person that was a little annoying was Kat Dennings. And that's, I know there's a lot of people that didn't like her in the first movie, and I can understand why. I didn't hate her in the first one, but she did get grating a little bit in the first one after a while, and this one she does in this one too. She does in this one too, and to make it even worse, they add a second comic relief with her intern. She is an intern that has an intern. Really weird. And he's basically a second comic relief, and it's like, yeah, we don't need that. It was completely unnecessary, and that character didn't need to be there, and it was kind of annoying. But it didn't really take away from the movie. I mean, the Kat Dennings is all right. I'm not saying that she's a bad, but she was kind of annoying in these films and really unnecessary. Um, I do like about this film and the first film, that these movies don't really take themselves too seriously, and this movie doesn't really take itself too seriously because, let's face it, I mean, some people they could have gone the route of like the Dark Knight Rises or Man of Steel and all stuff like that. Be a really serious dark film. It could have been, but it would have been kind of silly, especially with like characters that are dressed the way they are dressed, like wearing goofy helmets and having some really weird, goofy names. I mean, for God's sakes, the substance in this movie that's like that they're trying to stop from being released is called ether. No joke. It's like spelled like AETHER or something like that, and it's like, really, you're calling it ether? All right, it's like it's up there with in the Hobbit movie where they had a town named Dale. The hell? All right. I mean, maybe that's probably in the books, but I don't know. But yeah, there's something called Ether, and there's some goofy names. Asgard. I mean, there's some really goofy names, but this movie's kind of doesn't take itself way too seriously. And I like that. It's not that bad, or it's not a bad thing for this kind of film to not take itself seriously. The Avengers did, they've done the same thing with the Avengers and Iron Man and all that stuff, and that they have a lot of humor in them, not just really, and they're not just really dark movies like the event, or they don't try to be like the Dark Knight or Man of Steel or anything like that. They are more lighthearted, and I like that. These films, that works a lot. And there's a lot of good, funny, comedy, goofy moments in this movie. And sometimes they go a little overboard. I will say they go a little overboard, like, who's it? Stellan Skarsgård running around naked, and that Stonehenge was a little weird. A little out of place. I thought that was a little weird. I can understand why, because he basically still selling the effects of having Loki take over his mind, but then if you sit there and think about it, it's like, well, Jeremy Renner had Loki take over his mind. Why isn't Jeremy Renner doing the same crazy? Because Stellan Skarsgård is basically crazy in this movie and is acting crazy. And it's like, well, why didn't Jeremy Renner have those same effects? I don't know. I mean, that's something you sit there and think about a little bit. You might have a headache. I mean, there are a lot of moments in this movie that are a little bit on the logic side. You kind of go, yeah, what the hell? It makes no sense. I also like the 3D in this movie. I thought the 3D in this movie was pretty good. The first Thor movie had pretty bad 3D, and this one kind of improved. I was kind of impressed. I mean, it wasn't great or anything like that, but for a post-conversion, it was pretty damn good. It was better than Iron Man 3 as 3D. Really a lot better. I guess one question I know a lot of people ask, well, did I like this better than Iron Man 3? I like Iron Man 3 a lot better. Out of the two Marvel movies this year, I like Iron Man 3 a lot better. But this one was pretty damn good. I guess, I mean, I don't want to go into talk about this movie too much because I don't want to spoil too much about it. I guess it wouldn't be a Marvel movie review without talking about the post-credit scene. I'm not going to spoil it. I feel like I should talk about it because, everybody knows by now that every Marvel movie has a post-credit scene that you have to stay at the end for. You gotta remember this when you go to the theaters, is that there are two post-credit scenes. One in the middle of the credits and one at the end of the credits. So, and honestly, you could just stay for the one in the middle of the credits and then leave. Because the one at the end of the credits is just kind of just, I don't know. It didn't really need to be there. It's kind of like what the Avengers post credits, the Avengers end credit scene at the end of the credits was like, where they had them at the shawarma restaurant. It's kind of like that, and it's really pointless, but it's kind of funny. But this one, like, it's just there. But the one in the middle of the credits was pretty interesting because the one in the middle of the credits has a great freaking cameo. I if you've been following like the casting choices for a lot of the Marvel movies as of late, they've made some really big casting choices. You got people like James Spader, Benicio del Toro, Chris Pratt, Bradley Cooper, Elizabeth Olsen, Aaron Taylor Johnson. I think I said Spader. And I was kind of hoping going in, because I knew there was going to be like a post-credit scene that would kind of like move the story along to the Avengers 2 or something like that. I knew something that would move the story along and hint towards future movies. I was kind of hoping and crossing my fingers for a James Spader cameo, but there isn't one. But the cameo that we did get was kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, it was one of those cameos that, like, at first it's like, is that who I think it is? And like, holy shit, it is. And you're like, awesome. It's like, I'm just sitting there like, awesome. I really like that. And that cameo was pretty cool. It's like, because it's almost unrecognizable. And then I just read somewhere that was trying to explain it. Although I got what was going on, so it wasn't like I was really confused by it. But I was sitting there going, I was like, I was sitting there going, thinking that this movie, that this credit scene would be leading to the Avengers 2, and that it would. I thought the kind of the ending of it, or the post-credit scene, was kind of setting up the creation of Ultron. But no, I was wrong on that, apparently. It's kind of setting... They even did something even more clever. They kind of set up what could be the possible plot for Avengers 3, which is like, holy crap. I mean, they're already setting up for Avengers 3? Sweet. Fine with me, man. And I honestly, that could be kind of cool that they're they're planning that far ahead. It does. I will say this about the post-credit scene without giving it away. It more has to deal with the Guardians of the Galaxy movie than the Avengers 2. I thought, like I said, I thought it had to deal with Ultron, but it didn't. But it has a lot more to do with. Let's just say it's cameo. If you don't know what the cameo, if it hasn't been spoiled it for you, don't let anybody spoil it for you. It's kind of really cool when you realize who it is. That it's one of the main actors in Guardians of the Galaxy. Basically pops up in at the end of the credits. That's all I'm gonna say there. I'm still hoping eventually we get a James Spader cameo in one of them. I really oh yeah, by the way, in Thor, if you're interested, there is like a cameo from Chris Evans as Captain America in Thor. It's just a very brief cameo, but it happens in there. Other than that, there's no there's mention of the events of Avengers throughout the movie, but there's no other Avengers that pop up in this one. And also I heard that the post-credit scene that was in the middle, basically was shot apparently like a couple months ago. It was just shot just recently. And James Gunn, from the director of Guardians of the Galaxy, shot it pretty quickly. I guess within 2 hours, like a couple months ago. It's kind of cool. That's you know what? That's kind of cool. You know, they added something that it kind of moved the story along a little bit. Maybe hinting to where they're going with this series. I'm interested where this series goes from here. I guess I could talk about the trailers a little bit because I did get a lot of good trailers. I did get the new RoboCop trailer, which honestly, I think I talked about this a while back. I probably did, but I'm more I see it, I'm kind of more keeping hope up that movie won't be bad. They need to make it rated R. They really do. Not PG-13, but I have a feeling they're going to make it PG-13. It doesn't, with the casting this movie has, it makes you kind of go, okay, this could be really good. But then you're thinking, yeah, this could be really bad also. But, because it got fucking Michael Keaton, Samuel L. Jackson, and Gary Oldman. That's going to be fucking awesome. How did them, for a movie like it's a remake of RoboCop, that should be awesome. I also got, before the movie started, I got a 5-minute preview of Captain America, the new Captain America, which was kind of cool. I liked that. I don't know what really was going on in that trailer, but I really liked the first Captain America, so I'm gonna go see that one way or another. I've really enjoyed the first Captain America. I think Chris Evans is really great in that role. And that looked pretty good. That did look pretty good. What else? Oh, and then I got one of the best trailers I've seen all year so far, which was the new X-Men trailer. I have not. I know it was released a couple of weeks ago online, and I tried to avoid watching that trailer online and seeing it in theaters first. Holy crap, does that look really, really good? And by God, did that movie series got bleak as shit, really dark. That movie's gonna be really fucking dark. It looks really, really, really dark. That looks really, really good. I'm not joking. Bryan Singer's back as director. You got fucking Hugh Jackman, Ian McKellen, Patrick Stewart, Michael Fassbender, James McAvoy. Everybody freaking returning. Like, the past and the present meet together, and it's kind of like, that's gonna be fucking awesome. I'm not the only one who has to think, that's gonna be awesome. I know you got Peter Dinklage is in this fucking movie too. I know it's something to do with Sentinels and stuff like that. The Sentinels finally. I know a lot of people have been looking forward to that. Again, I'm not a comic book guy, so I never followed the comic books. Even though I know about like Ultron and all that stuff like that because I hear it from comic book nerds and hear about it online. That's the only way I know about this stuff. But I hear the Sentinels and I'm kind of looking forward. From what I've been told about the Sentinels, I'm looking forward to that on film. I hope that's done well. Yeah, but I'm really looking forward to X-Men. Was X-Men the Days of Future Past or something like that? I might be wrong on that. Honestly, that's probably gonna be one of the best films. And that's one of the films I'm really looking forward to next summer. That, Amazing Spider-Man 2, Fast and Furious 7. What else is coming up? Godzilla. I think that's it. Well, you got Guardians of the Galaxy too. Guardians of the Galaxy, that's one of those films. Now I'm just rambling on now, but Guardians of the Galaxy is the one I have no idea what the hell that movie's gonna be about, but I'm interested. That's one that's piqued my interest because I have no idea anything. I have nothing. Most people have no idea what to expect going in with that film. That's gonna be the one that could surprise a lot of people. I'm hoping. But anyways, I'm gonna get off here because I'm just rambling about comic book movies. I'll be back tomorrow with either Enough Said or the new one of James Gandolfini's last movies, or 12 Years a Slave, which that's a broad um, spectrum of movies there. Um, which I don't know which one I'm gonna go because both movies just came to my movie theater just recently, and I want to check both of them out. I hear really good things about both of them, and really there's nothing else coming out that looks any good other than the Best Man Holiday. Fuck that. Although that's getting really good reviews, so I'm gonna end up going to see that anyways. Fuck. But anyways, yeah, I'll be back with one of those two. I might go eventually just do a review for both of those movies, but tomorrow I'll probably only be back with one of them. So I'll be back with, probably. I'm gonna tell you right off the bat. It's probably gonna be 12 Years a Slave. So I'll probably be back with 12 Years a Slave, or enough said if I change my mind. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.